All right. All right. All right. We're back. We're back. It's been a minute. It's been a good minute. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys, whoever sees this live stream. It's a little bit choppy right now, but hopefully the stream will correct itself in a minute. So we're just chilling out. Move some stuff around in the studio. I hope you guys have been enjoying the content so far. You know, I've been in and out trying some new things, trying to mess around with the YouTube shorts. I guess we can just start with that, man. If you are an up and coming content creator, use the shorts. Go ahead and use them to your advantage. You need to use them. There's no reason not to use them. I have got my last 12 subscribers from the YouTube shorts, just been able to get the extra exposure. So if you have not used YouTube shorts, use YouTube shorts. It will definitely help you out in the long run. It will definitely help you out. I wouldn't steer you wrong. So make sure you are doing that. Let's see. Videos. I don't know what's going on. My connection is a little choppy. So if I'm doing a robot or if I am borging out, I apologize. It is not on purpose. So I hope you guys have been doing all right. Hope you guys have been doing well. Let me see. 96, 2.4%. Frames are dropping for some reason. I don't know why. But we'll be all right. We'll be all right. Don't know what's going on. Still dropping. My frames are still dropping. What is going on? All right, we'll start going there in a little bit. Make sure I get this internet connection back right. See if I can mess around. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Make sure everything is going all right. I know it's have a little drop frames going on, but we'll make it work. You guys let me know if you seeing anything out of the ordinary or if I am borging really bad. It's not always like this, but you know, we'll roll with the punches. Let me see. We'll make it work. Anyway, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Den. You know, it's me. It's Aaron EBM. Messed around on here. It's been a little minute. A little rusty with the live stream. So, you know, it's okay. You know, we'll take it as it is. And if I need to actually get out of here and come back in, I will. But I just wanted to see what you guys were doing. See what's new. Talk a little bit about what's going on with these different studios, different movies that have been out, what the plans are for some of the rest of Hollywood, some of the movies that you guys like, some of the ones that you didn't like. And so that's what we're doing. I'm just trying to make sure or see why this OBS is lagging like it is, but it is what it is. Now, if you guys haven't been paying attention, you should know by now that Warner Brothers is in the tank. If you liked a lot of, if you're into, I say WB, Warner Brothers, DC Universe, DCEU, the extended DC Universe, then you already know that the movies have been horrible lately, and it's not like we didn't tell them so. So if you're looking right here, shrink my screen a little bit. First and foremost, if you're in the stocks and bonds, or if you're just new into stocks, you know, you don't have to be a stock genius or a stock expert to know you buy low and you sell high. So if you're getting into stocks now, I'm not a stock professional. I'm just a regular guy. Then Warner Brothers stocks had plummeted, you know, to like $12, $13 a stock. And it got so bad, it got to the point to where they wanted to actually sell off their music royalties to regain some of the, I believe, $50 billion or so that they were in losses. So if you look over here at the chart, this was at 4 p.m. today, around $13 a stock. And you can see that, let me see. Compared to Disney stock being around $100 a share, compared to the $13-ish a share that's going on at DC, or not DC, but Warner Brothers. And it's not, like I said before, it's not like what I was saying is brand new or new news. Everybody's already known about it, because a lot of it has to do with the way Warner Brothers is going about, you know, making their content in their company, and they don't really listen to the consumer. You know, the main person that buys these tickets, the same people that buy the merchandise, they're not listening to. So a lot of the problems that they have are their own fault. Move that over here. And it's not like we didn't tell them. Like, it's not like we didn't already tell them or try to tell them that, you know, the way what they were doing was messed up. You couldn't, you know, with the gimmick product like superheroes and Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, you would think that you would just be able to slap them on anything and be able to make millions out of it. And you'll be able to trick the kids into watching the shows and the cartoons and watching, you know, subpar movies and subpar, you know, just entertainment. But you have to think a lot of the people that were actually watching and consuming this content were the actual people that, you know, the Gen Xers, the millennials, the people that actually grew up with the cartoons, to actually go and watch them turn into live characters, and to see the studios not even listen remotely to the people that are buying these tickets, you know, it was upsetting. So That's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing the people that want to slap just because of what they have the rights to having, these superheroes think that they can just come in and do whatever and slap anything together and give it to the actual consumer. But how far are you going to do that? How far do you think that's going to be able to get you, or going to be able to take your company? I don't know, but you're seeing it right now. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing the actual remnants of what's happening right now is showing in their stocks. It's showing right now. You've seen in real time what's happening with their company, and it's not a better time to buy into a company right now. If you're afraid of buying a stock, if you're afraid of buying Tesla stock, if you're afraid of buying any stock and spending in a large amount of money, this will be the time where you can buy in, at a fairly low price. And if you lose, you lose. What's 48, 12, 24, 30, what's 4 stocks, $48, $50, $60 going to really actually do to you? But, they can turn around. They can definitely turn around because they have a viable product. There's money to be made off of these DC characters. There's a lot of money to be made, and you can see that through the Flash. The Flash, I believe is it called the Arrowverse? Yeah, the Arrowverse that was on CW with the Arrow and all the rest of them different shows. The Arrow, Flash, I think Legends of Tomorrow, different shows that they had on CW that were good until they weren't good, and then the same thing happened on there. The woke mafia got a hold to them and pretty much killed what they little momentum they had, and here we are with that. Now, I believe they have been big moves in DC, in Warner Brothers in DC, with James Gunn actually being one of the top men over in DC now. James Gunn, of course, if paid attention to these superhero Marvel and DC movies, he's the guy that's been behind all these Guardians of the Galaxy and Suicide Squad 2. Now, I myself personally didn't care for Suicide Squad 2. Suicide Squad 1 was okay. It was a decent movie. It felt very much like a elongated MTV video, and it worked, for what it was. It worked for what it was. Now, will that cookie cutter formula work for every show, movie? No, it won't. And of course, that's what I felt. I'm only one critic, but that's what I felt about Suicide Squad 2. I felt like they tried to put that Guardians of the Galaxy spin on Suicide Squad and actually gave a little bit too much of a comedic chop to the actual movie and made a mockery of the movie. Now, very Marvel. If you're a Marvel fan over DC, like most people are, Marvel is heading in the same direction with Taika Waititi and the way his form of directing, the way he directs, very, very, very comedic. Too comedic for a lot of us millennials that actually came up watching some of these badass superheroes. It's okay to have a part of the movie that's actually funny, or part of the movie that's actually comedic, but never take away from the sense of the superhero's manhood or that thing that makes him who he is. But that's what's happening with Taika Waititi. It actually got so bad that Chris Hemsworth said he didn't really even want to come back unless there was some definite changes that happened with that show, or with that series. It actually had to be something totally different, or you wouldn't even come back. And we all know, it's only so far you can take this stuff. It's only so much you can do, without making it seem like you're just totally misogynistic, or you're just some some kind of phobe. Y'all know how the actual Hollywood people can be. You know how it is. You guys know you can only say so much. You can only defend yourself so much, to the point to where you're beginning to be called all kind of stuff. So Chris Hemsworth not a fan of what's going on Also, Dave Bautista said he'd be happy if he never came back for another Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and I would say the same. You know, I don't blame him. You know, I've always been a fan of Dave Bautista, even back in the WWE. You know, I always felt like he was a person that was going to stay true to himself. If he didn't like the person, or if he didn't like the way things were moving in that actual time, he wouldn't stick around. And you've seen that he wasn't a complete and utter tool of. He wasn't a complete tool of that system, and he's the same way with the movies. Nobody wants to see something a baby of theirs, something that they put hard work into, actually go in the direction they're going. I know a lot of these people that make these movies, a lot of people that they put in these positions say that that they have such a great idea. Let's just put a woman in a position of the man, and it's going to be such a great idea to put a woman in the place of a man, and that's like a next level thing to do. Or we're going to make this person extra woke. We're going to make this person just super and super woke and super new age, and everybody's gonna love it. And they keep doing the same thing over and over again, and they have the same result. If you watched a couple of my live streams, a few live streams ago, you remember my live stream that was called The Definition of Insanity. And Einstein's definition of insanity, repeating the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, is what's happening, that you can actually see what's happening in Hollywood right now. It's the exact definition, or Einstein's definition of insanity. How many times are you going to continue to do the same things over and over again in media, in Hollywood, getting the same results, getting the same backlash, getting the same, just horrible ratings in movies, and you continue to do it just so you can appease the progressive part of yourself. It's beginning to be ridiculous. The moviegoer rates are down, and it's not some coincidence. The moviegoers are not going to the movies because when you work 10, 12, 11 hours a day, you want to, you work hard, you want to spend your leisure time escaping. You want to actually pull yourself out of the mundane and to go and actually immerse yourself in what's going on in a movie. That's what you want. You don't want to go to the movie and then be dropped right back into the same old political stuff that you have to talk about and you have to see day in and day out. But that is what's happening now. You see people who just make these movies, and it's the same old rhetoric over and over and over again, and everything has some kind of message in there, progressive message in there, and people get tired of it. People get tired of seeing the same thing over and over again, and you're seeing it. And hopefully, with the rehiring of DC or Marvel's CEO, things will kind of course correct and go back. For DC, I do not know. I have no idea what's going to happen. But like I said before, if you're in the stocks, this would be a perfect time to buy the dip. This is what they call buying the dip time. Don't let the stocks get back up. And remember, I am not a stock, or I'm not a Wall Street professional. I'm just a guy. I just, know the basics. I know what it is. And if you're trying to go play with stocks, this will be a perfect time. You had a little extra cash. I know it's hard these days to have a little extra or spare disposable income, but if you do, which I know you do, because everybody likes to go get McDonald's still, everybody likes to go get Chick-fil-A, save yourself $13-14, go buy you a few stocks and see what it does. See if it goes back up. Why not? Speaking of the woke mafia in media, why don't you guys check out Velma? Is another one. Velma is another show that is on HBO Max. Another show on HBO Max. Get back on there, screen on screen. Hopefully this is all right. Pick on screen. Yep, there we go. Another show on HBO Max that some people were looking forward to. I really wasn't looking forward to having my childhood ruined, so I didn't watch Velma at all. Velma, of course, you know who Velma was. She was a nerdy chick in Scooby-Doo. And Velma was Velma. Velma was the nerdy archetype of the show, and they decided to make a spinoff, Velma spinoff, on HBO Max. And what do they do every time they do this stuff? It usually is like has a mature rating. Somebody in there is super woke, or just wanting to show that they are super progressive, like I said, and everybody else is slow and need to catch up. And this is the same thing. Velma splits fans over race and sexual orientation. Oh man, I don't even know if I want to read this whole thing, but I guess I will anyway. It said fans of original animated Scooby-Doo cartoon are finding it difficult to embrace the new Velma show that debuted on HBO Max on January 12th, 2023, with new racial tones for 3 of the 4 main characters, and no sign of the beloved Great Dane known as Scooby. Velma is having to curate a new wave of fans. See, this is what happened. This is I can't remember what this chick name is. I believe she's Mindy something, but she's the voice of the new Velma chick, the new Velma, and they pretty much took Scooby-Doo, took a famous character of Scooby-Doo that really wasn't the popular person, wasn't a popular girl. Velma wasn't, but they took her character because she wasn't a popular girl, made her the rebel, and turned her into what they just said in the title of this article. Many old school fans are hesitant to embrace the new show, preferring the laughs induced during their childhood by age-old character Velma. Daphne's relationship also brought some surprises in adult-oriented animated series, and both issues of race and sexual orientations are splitting fans, new and old alike. See, this is what happens. This is why I haven't watched it. I actually tried to watch it. I actually turned it off within 5 minutes of the show coming on. Not because I'm just so afraid of the content, because number one, I don't want my childhood ruined. And number two, you can see me right there. Number two, I don't want everything that I watch, especially something tied to my childhood, politicized. I don't want to see it. I don't want it ruined. Here you go. Twitter users, Mike Kling. I hate people's handles. Who voices Velma posted a tribute of her newest show. This person feels that Velma just can't stand up comically to the original Scooby-Doo. I agree. Jack's Blade Fitness thinks new Velma was pretty meh. This person was thrilled with Velma Daphne relationship arc, but wondered about the cost of the representation. This is part of that show. I'm not putting that on there. But look, that's just a piece. That's just a piece of what's going on with this. That's a piece of what's going on with the way Hollywood is depicting the characters in the movie. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't mind any character. I don't mind what race, sexual orientation, whatever it is. I'm a purist. I love the movies for what they are. The problem with the way these directors and the way these producers are going about these shows and movies is they're just inserting progressive act here and saying it's great, but it's not really great. Instead of making a great show, instead of making a great movie, and then so happens that the character is XYZ outside of the norm, they're not doing that. That's why Top Gun Maverick does so good, because yes, they had a woman in there. Yes, she was a badass fighter pilot, and she was a badass fighter pilot just like the rest of the guys were there, and they didn't make a thing about it because she was in the military. Everybody's equal until you're not equal. And it wasn't because she was a woman that they had to overinflate the character. That's what's happening with a lot of these things. Nobody really cares about what these people are, what these people do. People want a great movie. People want a great experience. Same thing with Terminator: Dark Fate. Love Terminator. Grew up in the 90s. I'm a 90s kid. Grew up in 85. Born in 85, and I love Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Love most of the Terminators. Even the Terminator 3 with the one chick that was like a hybrid Terminator, it was all good. And then until they made this Terminator Dark Fate, and then all of a sudden you got this cybernetic woman that's just like 6'6" Amazon woman, and she's like the baddest thing on the planet. Nobody could talk. People are tired of the I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar. I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar. It's time for the backseat. Same thing with She-Hulk. I've been talking about She-Hulk since She-Hulk came out, and She-Hulk was utter garbage. She-Hulk was utter garbage. I hope you guys remember that She-Hulk was utter garbage. I had to give my own self a round of applause and give you the AK right there. Look, She-Hulk was terrible. She-Hulk was terrible. They nearly ruined Daredevil. I hope he's able to pick himself back up in his own Disney Plus show that's coming out. That I believe it's Daredevil Rebirth. I hope they are able to pick up the reins from that. But if they're not, I will never watch Daredevil again. You know, there was nothing in Daredevil or nothing in She-Hulk that actually made She-Hulk stand out. She-Hulk was just better than the regular Hulk in every way, just because She-Hulk was a woman. She-Hulk was, didn't have any of the Hulk's weaknesses, all of his strengths, and he, was able to hold on to her composure because of the patriarchy. That should tell you right there how horrible this was and how much. By the way, they're not coming out with the season 2 of She-Hulk, by the way, because everybody knows that She-Hulk was terrible. They put people in position to produce these shows that never watched any comic book adaptation, never read a comic book, never watched a cartoon. They just put these people in positions, and most of the time they're women. Just like LucasArts, the LucasArts section of Disney is the same way. You see the same thing. The same thing in the same story. The woman can come out and she's just able to trump every movie and overshoot and step over everything that any other person or Jedi had to do just because she was a woman. No other explanation. And it makes for bad storytelling. Bad storytelling, horrible storytelling. For the throwback movie of the day, I want you guys to really take the time out to go watch a horror. Now, they said this movie was a actual flop. The horror comedy which is one of my childhood favorites, by the way, 1990s horror movie. It said a flop featuring Tupac. If you never watched it, Tupac Shakur. But the movie actually has Tupac Shakur, Dan Aykroyd, John Candy, Chevy Chase, and let me see. I already said Tupac. You throw them in a haunted house together in one of the weirdest comedies you can ever imagine. It was. She had a small role. He didn't have a humongous role in the movie. Tupac didn't, but nonetheless, he was in the movie. And the movie was Nothing But Trouble. If you haven't seen this movie, Nothing But Trouble, give it a chance. If you have watched it, you either love it or hate it. I love the movie. I have the movie, own the movie myself, and I come back to it from time to time. I'm a Chevy Chase fan. I'm a John Candy fan. I'm a Dan Aykroyd fan. Most of the people that were in the original Saturday Night Live were in this movie. I like the movie, love the movie. It was before the time that everybody got all sensitive in the movies, and everybody was able to just make good movies, make laughs, make comedic chops, and not have to worry about getting canceled the week after the movie comes out. So if you haven't watched Nothing But Trouble, watch the movie. Watch Nothing But Trouble. See how it is. See if you like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But give it a chance. Give it a try. You never know if you might end up liking the movie. But right here, God dang, he was a judge, and I can't remember his name in the movie. But yeah, it was crazy. It's like his nose came off, and I don't want to talk too much of the movie if you hadn't seen the movie. But like I said, if you're a fan of 90s old school comedy where you didn't have to worry about somebody offending another person or just outright making somebody upset about what they say, we can all have laughs, because that's what's ruining comedy right now. It's ruined. Comedy is meant to actually break the rules. Comedy is meant to touch on the subjects that upset us, to touch on the subjects that actually make us, cringe sometimes. It's actually to touch on the subjects that people are, want that think about, but they're scared to talk about. The comedians have that power to talk about this, to make the subjects lighter. And now it's to the point to where they can't even do their craft because everybody's so sensitive. And I believe if something doesn't happen, we'll see the destruction of comedy. You have had, outliers that have went against the grain, like Dave Chappelle has actually continued to fight for the craft that he does. And I know there's a lot more comics out there, but it needs to be more comics, because if not, that field will be lost. And who wants a soft, spongy, weak wristed, limp handed comedian? Nobody wants that. You might as well not even watch the comedy, if that's what you got to deal with. But yeah, a lot different movies coming out. Different Phase 5, hopefully, with MCU will be better. I'll be looking out. I think Flash might be the last movie in this DC extended universe that is under this regime now before it's totally rebooted. It will be rebooted. There's no more Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill has been let go. I think everybody else besides maybe Jason Momoa might end up playing Lobo. If you know DC characters, I believe he's in the works of playing Lobo. That'll be interesting because he really fits the part. And hopefully they'll be able to do something different and pull something out and actually, change stuff for the better. Although I would have liked to see Henry Cavill make at least one more Man of Steel movie and be done before he was done, and all good. But if you guys have been fans, you already know the mistakes they made. DC should have did a lot of things differently. They should have waited to bring back Superman in the movies. They brought back Superman too fast in the movies. He should have been dead. You should have been able to really want him to come back, and it wasn't like that. It was pretty much the way they brought Superman back in these movies in the Snyderverse is that it made Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg, Batman irrelevant. They didn't have time to actually really go through the trenches without Superman and really make themselves, build themselves up to the point that where they can't build themselves up when they actually need Superman back. They didn't give them that chance to do that. What happened, they actually brought him back too early, and it made no sense for the rest of those guys to even be there. And then we are where we are now, a bunch of wasted time. And if they went back and actually listened to the fans, actually stood back and actually took their time, I think a lot of this stuff is them trying to catch up with Marvel, which they're not going to do. Marvel's light years ahead of them, and they really need to make their own spot, their own, make their own case. Deal with the fact that they came into the game late. Build up from there, build up like Legos, and go and really go and make their own, and not try to chase behind, Marvel. Marvel is Marvel. Make their own lane and make a reason for people to like DC. It's already harder for people to like DC because of what DC is and what they represent. DC, and let's start with Marvel. Marvel, a lot of the characters in Marvel had human backgrounds. They had flaws. There was things about them. It was things about them that actually made them human and relatable. The struggles that they had. With DC, a lot of the characters in DC are what I call God tier characters. The Flash, God tier character. Superman, of course, a God tier character. Martian Manhunter, God tier character. You think about Green Lantern, even though he's a human with an alien ring, dog near God tier characters. What they are, humans can't really relate to them. So they already have their own, I say disadvantage when you're dealing with viewers. But it'll be different. It'll be interesting. Like I said, go back to you guys being content creators, doing what you do. This whole thing is a journey. I haven't really niched down yet, but I want to help people as much as I can. So, if you haven't done shorts, make sure that you get you some shorts done. Make you some long form content too, just to make sure that you knock the rust off like I am tonight. Touch on different subjects. Do what you love. Like I said earlier this week, do what you love. If you don't know what to talk about the things that you like, no matter who's going to look at you, no matter what they're going to say about you. It's the subjects that you have to talk about and you need to talk about at your core. You talk about those things and everything, the people will come. I appreciate the 12 subscribers that came to the channel that actually subscribed in the last few weeks. I appreciate that. More content will be coming out. You guys let me know what you guys want to talk about. If you guys hear anything, feel free to hit me up on my email. That is my business email. And we can talk about those things. Let me see. Tech will definitely be one. I enjoy messing with the actual technical aspect of this whole YouTube thing more than anything else. So just me messing with the computer part of it, the hardware part of it is a part of what I like about it, even more than the content that we're actually doing and talking about. So I think that'll be it. We on for 30. I think 30 minutes is a pretty good time for a live stream after not being back for a while. So let me see. Nobody in the chat right now. Yeah, I did. Freshen up. Make sure you freshen up your backgrounds. Make sure you it can get hard. It can get interesting, and it could actually get a little discouraging, especially when you're trying to figure out how you're going to have the resources or the funds to actually mess around with your background. But don't be afraid to actually move this stuff around, change your lighting. Lighting is very important. No matter what kind of camera you have, make sure that your lighting is on par. Your lighting will make a $100 camera look like a $500 camera. So ensure that you have decent lighting. I don't even have all the lighting on right now because the mood I was trying to set, but ensure that you have great lighting. Make sure that people can see you clearly. Make sure that of course, your audio needs to be on point. Your audio needs to be before your actual video is to its peak, but make sure that you get those things. Pay real close attention to your audio. Then make sure that you pay close attention to your lighting, and then spice it up. Throw some different things around. Make sure that you have a little depth of field in the back, and continue to do that to make yourself feel better and freshen it up for your viewers. What is actually going on? Let me see, because everybody doesn't have it. Everybody's not to the point to where they have all $1,000 to spend on their sets. It just kind of happens over time. But make sure that you can always start with that audio. You can always make that audio better and better. And I'll give you a tip: if you have a Canon camera, if you're using a Canon camera, make sure that you get yourself a Zoom recorder. And I might make a video about this, but use a Zoom recorder to actually filter your sound through your Zoom recorder before you record your videos. That way it'll clear up your sound and it'll sound like studio high quality sound. Because Canon, although I love Canon has a horrible preamp. The preamp will put a lot of noise in the background if it's not filtered out. So make sure you do that. If you guys using the Canon camera, take your time with this stuff. Know that there's people out there that's going through the same thing with you guys. And I'm one of them. I'm a regular guy. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. Make some more shorts with this video and just go from there. So I appreciate the few people that came through. I don't think I seen anybody in the chat, but I will say thank you for the guys that did come through today. And I don't need that. I don't know what that is. I'm going to delete that. know what that is. I guess that's when I was playing with it. So I appreciate it. Again, if you don't have anything, I guess I could have typed right here. If you don't have anything else, I appreciate you guys being here with me tonight. We'll have a movie. We'll have movie talk nights. I don't know what if I want to do it weekly. If I get more people out here actually viewing the videos and actually wanting to talk, then I actually take more time to do these things and get out and actually do these live streams with these actual, with these topics like this, with the movie topics, with the especially with some of these different types of things that they have on these streaming services. We'll talk about those as well. Make sure everybody is doing good. If you got any questions with this YouTube stuff, so I will be here and we'll just continue to grow the channels together. All right, guys, that's where I am tonight. I'm gonna be done. Actually make some shorts with these videos. Continue to do the best you can. Be true to the subscribers and yourself. All right, good night, guys.